Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Donovan the Smartphone Guy here with a little bit of a cold, and also here to talk about a phone that I've been using for a week and a half. This is my full review of the Alcatel Idol 4. So as you can see, this is a phone that I picked up from Cricket Wireless. I picked it up for $99, but right now it's $199 because their New Year's sale is no longer good. But let's talk about whether this phone is worth that price. First of all, let me just say that if you can pick it up for $100 easily, definitely it's a buy. 100% go get it. No questions asked. But if it's at 200, well, let's talk about whether it's worth that. So let's talk first of all about some things that I like about the phone, and that is the build quality. So this is an all glass back, and as you can see, it's very shiny. You can see my lights up there. And yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. It is a fingerprint magnet, so go ahead and throw a nice case on it, like this Poetic Affinity case. That's what I've been using with it. And so the glass back is real nice. The front screen is 1080p 5.2 inch, and it is an absolutely beautiful AMOLED screen. This easily rivals the AMOLED screens of Samsung. It's not as good. I'm not going to say that it's as good, but it is a very, very nice screen, especially at 1080p. If you get the Alcatel Idol 4S, which I did use for about a month and a half, you're going to get a 2K display. And again, these Alcatel has their screens just right. It is an excellent screen, and it does not feel like a budget screen at all in terms of just how bright it is and how clear and how crisp the screen is. So definitely with build quality, you're getting an excellent phone. The one thing that I will say that I'm not a huge fan of in terms of the build is the boom key. So they market the boom key as something that does something quite special. Now I'm running Nova Launcher on here, so it will only work if you're using the stock launcher. As you can see, it went ahead. I have it set up to hit the camera. The problem is you'll probably find yourself accidentally hitting that boom key when you don't want to, and so I actually tend to turn it off. But for the sake of showing you what it does, you can set it up to do multiple things, but I'm not a huge fan of the boom key. But build quality, I am a definite thumbs up for, with the exception of that boom key. Now, let's jump ahead to performance. So in terms of performance, this is a phone that is very snappy. If I were to go into, let's see, Chrome, and I don't even know what I have loaded. So what's the last thing I have loaded? Amazon. Let's go. That was my affiliate account. Let's go into Swap. I was looking up some Huawei Honor 8. And yeah, so in terms of performance, this is a very decent phone. It's certainly not a flagship phone when it comes to performance. This has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 617 processor. With gaming, so one of my favorite games to play is Hill Climb 2, and with gaming, I definitely feel like it holds its own, but you'll notice that the load time for the game is kind of slow, especially I'm coming from the Huawei Honor 8, and so the phone will feel a little bit slow to do things, but once you get something open, whew, there's those speakers, man. Those front-firing speakers are just absolutely amazing. But in terms of the processor, like I said, once you get something loaded up, it's going to run just fine. It's the actual load times that take a little while. It's not terrible, but it's something noticeable. But in general, performance is okay. It's good. It's not flagship, but it's good. Let's talk next about the cameras. So this has a 13 megapixel camera on the back and an 8 megapixel camera on the front, which is a wide angle camera. And I would say that both cameras take excellent shots. Again, a lot of budget phones, one of the things that feel very budget about them. So let's take blue phones, for instance. When you get blue phones, one of the things that's budget about them is the cameras. I would say on the Alcatel, this takes very quality pictures with that 13 megapixel camera. We'll see if we can get that into focus. All right, so yeah, I've actually shot a few videos for my YouTube channel with it, and it did really well. Again, the 8 megapixel camera up front, the selfie shooter, is also very good. So cameras, again, they're not going to rival flagship phone cameras, but easily hold their own against mid-range phones. And so I definitely give thumbs up to Alcatel on the camera side when it comes to this Alcatel Idol 4. Next thing we want to talk about is the battery life. So in my initial first impressions of this phone, I kind of mentioned that battery life was going to be one area that I thought was going to be of concern. But I will say that after a week and a half of using this phone, I'm easily getting between 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, which for me, I feel I'm happy with that. I don't mind getting 4 to 5 hours of screen on time with a phone, especially this does have Qualcomm 2.0 fast charging. It doesn't come with that fast charging brick, but if you have one from a previous phone or if you just have one, you can use that. And it does charge up quite fast, but like I said, it doesn't come with it out of the box. This has a 2610 milliamp hour battery, and like I said, about 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time. And for me, I feel like that's very sufficient. So battery life is good to, it's good. It's not great, but it's good. Sound quality. Now, this is kind of a strange thing, but I had, like I said, I had the Alcatel Idol 4S for about a month and a half, and I had the Axon 7 at the exact same time. And I did a comparison video where I played some songs with the 4S and the Axon 7, and I honestly feel like I might have got a bit of a lemon with the 4S because the front firing speakers on that phone, and honestly, it's a 360 sound, but mine was very, very tinny with my Alcatel Idol 4S, not the Axon 7. The Axon 7 still is the king of, it is the best phone when it comes to sound quality, but this phone is definitely a close second. So I'm just going to play a real quick song. I don't know if I had anything loaded up here. Let's see. Okay. I don't have anything loaded up, but I did have one just that I was looking up. So let's just, for fun, because it just sounds great. And we'll skip ahead a little bit here in the song. Now, I'm bragging about the front firing speakers because they're good. They're very good. But I am coming from the Huawei Honor 8, which did not have great speakers. And so because of that, maybe I'm being a little bit biased. Maybe because I'm coming from that phone to this phone, maybe it just sounds better compared. But for me, the Alcatel Idol 4, for some reason, mine had better speakers than the Alcatel Idol 4S that I had. I don't know why. Like I said, it could be just a lemon that I had with the Alcatel Idol 4S, but these speakers sound absolutely fantastic. Again, probably the second best speakers you can get on a phone, in my opinion. Now let's talk about some of the things that I'm not a fan of. So I've already talked about the boom key. One thing, obviously, that's a negative of this phone is also that it is a Cricket Wireless exclusive phone. So if you want to use it on T-Mobile or any other GSM network, you're going to have to get it unlocked. So you can pay that $2.35, like I said, and you can probably find it cheaper on eBay, but you're going to have to go to eBay and find an unlock code, and it works just fine. I paid $2.35, even though I'm a Cricket Wireless customer, to get mine unlocked, but, you know, it is what it is. It's on Cricket. Pay that $2.35, get it unlocked, and then use it. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of is one thing that if I could change anything about this phone is I feel like every phone that I've used lately, even some of the new budget phones that you can get right now, have a fingerprint sensor. And so it would be really nice if they could have added that. I would have paid the extra $20, $30, even $230, $240. If this phone had a fingerprint sensor, I would easily call it one of the best budget phones of 2016. But that missing, that is just the one thing. So if that's not a big deal to you, then by all means go out and pick up the Alcatel Idol 4. But for me, I just miss it. I feel like it needs to be there. I like it there. The Alcatel Idol 4S has it, and it was a good fingerprint sensor. But obviously this one does not have that. So overall, is the Alcatel Idol 4 a buy at $200? It might be a tough sell now. It's 2017. New phones are coming out. The Honor 6X is $250. You can get the ZTE Blade V8 Pro for $229 right now. It might be a tough sell. I haven't used those phones. I have both of those phones on the way, and I'll be doing reviews of those phones coming very, very soon as I can get my hands on them. They're both pre-ordered. So is this a buy? Tough call. I'm going to say if you can get it for $150 or less, get it. Definitely get this phone if you can get it at that price. But if it stays at $200 and there's no deal on it, I'm going to say maybe get one of those unlocked phones. Again, I haven't used them yet. Another phone to consider at the same price point with very similar specs would be the Axon 7 Mini. I definitely used that phone for quite a while. I will say that I probably prefer this phone overall to the Axon 7 Mini, but I still miss that one has the fingerprint sensor. This one does not. So I really wish Alcatel would have put that fingerprint sensor on there, but since they didn't, it is what it is. It's a great phone. Hopefully this review is helpful for you if you're interested in picking it up. Anyways, that's it for this video. I'm kind of rambling on now. So, as always, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.